Everybody get up, no need to cram now. We got a real jam going down, going down, going down, going down, going down, going down. Welcome to the IntelliJAMS.
Alex, how's it going?
Monday, my favorite day of the week.
Happy Monday. I love Mondays. Mondays mean we get a whole week ahead of us.
And we get to jam.
And we get to jam. IntelliJAMS. What do you want to jam on this week?
Okay, so I'm excited about this one. So someone messaged me the other day. I'm not going to say who they were. And they said, hey, Alex, is there a reason that you don't say Shopify on the homepage of the Intelligems site, or built for Shopify, or like something to that effect? And it got me thinking, like, that wasn't done on purpose. And we probably should do it because, like, so much of what we have built and so much of the value of Intelligems is because of how tight the integration is with Shopify. So I wanted to jam on like that.
Yeah. What's also interesting is all of our customers are on Shopify. In fact, when we get people who want to use Intelligems and they don't have a Shopify store, we have to turn them away because we literally cannot support people who are not on Shopify. You have to be on Shopify to use Intelligems. So that's yeah, I mean, I could see like, why not say Shopify on the website? Well, because it's not because we want to attract brands that are not on Shopify, because we literally have to turn them away if they are not on Shopify. Can't work with them. Yeah. So I don't know why we wouldn't. We should definitely say built for Shopify, only for Shopify. Don't even click my ad. Don't make me pay for a click through if you don't use Shopify. But yeah, we are very, very tightly coupled and built on Shopify these days.
So there's one piece that like comes to mind for me, but obviously as someone, you're a co-founder of Intelligems. You've been at this for years. You have made kind of like all the decisions up till this point. So like there's one piece that I'll hit on, but like I want to get your thoughts on like the other areas where like how tightly integrated we are with Shopify makes things easier, more powerful. But the one that immediately comes to mind for me is running template tests and running theme tests basically like directly inside of Shopify.
Yeah. So actually, maybe let's talk about theme and template tests first. But before we do that, I would love to sort of zoom out and just sort of like paint the picture of like the breadth of the Shopify landscape and the way we're integrated into it. And then maybe we can zoom in on theme and template
specific
tests.
Pieces. Yeah.
But right now, we are built on Shopify because it makes things simple for us, but it also gives us a lot of power. So we power shipping rates through Shopify, through the rate carrier API, pricing, discounts through checkout extensibility. We have checkout badges, checkout upsells. We have all of our tracking is built on Shopify Rails. We get orders from Shopify. So that's how we are able to have much higher quality data than some of the other A/B testing platforms that aren't built on Shopify. So it's just very like, it gives us a lot of simplicity that every single one of our customers, like all the APIs are the same. If we were to go try and support someone who is not on Shopify, we couldn't, because it would just have a whole bunch of different APIs to change the price, change the shipping rates, offer a discount, all different APIs. So it makes it easier for us, but also we can just do so much stuff through Shopify APIs. So that's sort of the breadth. If I were to then zoom in on, let's say, template and theme changes, that's like a very, very common. That's actually probably our number 1 and 2 most common ways that people use Intelligems today, believe it or not. I don't know if you knew that. The way that our theme and template integrations work is like a lot of people want to make the changes directly in Shopify. They're super comfortable with Shopify Editor, or maybe they even use a page builder that's built into Shopify and it saves it into the Shopify backend as different, product templates. No matter what your current workflow is, before Intelligems, you're probably doing something in Shopify or Shopify like adjacent. And so when you use Intelligems, you don't want to have to change that workflow. If you want to make a change and you want to test it, that's a change to a theme, that's a change to a template. You can do that in your existing workflow, and Intelligems just works with that. And so that's like one of the big benefits to theme and template testing, is that you can do it right in the Shopify editor or whatever workflow you're already in. And like, you don't have to change anything or learn a new tool or learn a new skill.
It doesn't surprise me that's one of the top ones. And like, you don't need to learn a new skill, but also when you run the test or the experiment and you find a winner, pretty easy to just run the template, run the theme.
Yeah. And actually, like, we have this feature we call rollouts, which is like when you make a change and you end a test, you say, like, I want to roll this out to everyone. There are some things that, like, we can control the rollout. So it's like, hey, like, I wrote this JavaScript function and I found that, like, when I run this JavaScript, it improves conversion. So, like, rolling that out means that, like, I don't actually have to, like, touch the theme code or anything like that. I can just, like, let IntelliGEMS run that JavaScript for everyone going forward. With theme and template, if you try and roll those out, we actually stop you. We say, hey, like, IntelliGEMS can control your themes and templates, but, like, this is a Shopify native feature. You should probably actually just publish this theme or publish this template to meet the default one for those products and give you, like, instructions on how to do that. We don't even want to like do it the right way. Do it in Shopify. So that's, like, kind of, we have ways, things that we are in control of, JavaScript, CSS, HTML injections, all sorts of different ways that you can, like, make changes to your site that we control. But if you want to do it in a Shopify native way, yeah, themes and templates, like, have that be in Shopify.
So when I came into this, that's obviously, like, this is where my head went. When you start talking about, like, all the different APIs and, like, where that allows us to play, I think that's, like, really impressive, actually. And, like,
yeah,
pricing, discounts, checkouts, like, the ability to tap into specific Shopify APIs to make that happen. All of these things, you and I have had countless jams where it's like testing something is not enough, right? Like, it's about the user experience component to it as well. So, like, us working shipping rates, pricing, discounts, checkout, it's allowing us to integrate into what's already there inside of Shopify so that, like, hey, you're not creating a broken, janky workflow because, like, hey, we're populating into where we already know those things are inside of Shopify.
Yeah. I mean, I think what's also interesting as I reflect on this conversation is these APIs weren't available when we started the company. Like, checkout extensibility wasn't a thing. There were no discount functions. There was no cart transform. So much of what we did, if anyone remembers, like, the script editor app and checkout scripts, where, like, you had all this ability to do really complex, sophisticated discounts and bundles and buy, like, you could basically build any discount you could imagine, but you had to write it in Ruby. And,
if
like,
you knew what you were doing.
If you knew what you were doing, it was like, and you would, and this was before Claude Code. So, like, you have all these people who are not that technical, who, like, understand basic logic and, like, can kind of pretend to understand Ruby syntax. And so you have, like, all of these people writing checkout scripts in Ruby. And then, like, what we would do, Rebuy, like, all of these companies, like us included, would have to do is, like, we would have a compiler that, like, took all of this logic that you would build in IntelliGEMS, turn it into a 5,000 lines of Ruby code, and then you would copy and paste that Ruby code into your checkout script editor. But if you wanted to then make any customizations on top of it, or you had IntelliGEMS and Rebuy installed at the same time, it's like a huge pain in the ass. And so what's really interesting is, like, as Shopify has addressed those pain points and we've moved away from the script editor app and we now have discount functions, we now have cart transform and all these checkout extensibility features. Again, we used to be, like, injecting JavaScript into your checkout.liquid. Now we're using checkout extensibility, checkout blocks. So there's, like, Shopify has made all these APIs so much more robust for us to be able to do all of these really advanced things, like very, very complex discounts, targeted discounts, price testing, changing the pricing on the fly. So for all of that kind of stuff, personalized upsells at checkout, all of that is now possible in a much easier way because, like, Shopify has built all these APIs that were built on top of.
You also hit on, hey, the quality of the data coming through because of, like, how we look for it. So I think, like, all of those ways of working into the Shopify front end are important. That's what that's how your customer is going to interact with your tests, with your personalizations. They're going to see it there. But from your perspective as the brand, you're doing these things for a reason. I have a hypothesis that this is going to increase AOV. I have a hypothesis that this is going to increase my profit per visit. So talk to me a bit about like, I mean, I hear this a lot. Like, hey, you got like the data you guys are able to give me is like fast, reliable, accurate. Like,
Yeah.
talk to me a bit about that in the Shopify ecosystem. Because like, yes, we can do all these front end changes, but like you were saying, hey, Ruby to Claude Code to like where we are now, like front end changes are becoming easier and easier. What people are really in pursuit of as they do this is like, was what I did effective?
Yeah. I mean, and I think so much of actually the investment that we've made is in our infrastructure and specifically the data infrastructure. Like if you think about our hosting costs in our AWS bill, we have a very, very large, like 6 figures annual spend, almost 7 figures annual spend on AWS. And that is 100% of it, 95% of it is our data ingestion and all of the processing that we do on data. And that's to be able to pull in all of that data in near real time to surface it in dashboards where someone places an order and that shows up within seconds in your analytics. The way we're able to do that through Shopify is Shopify sends us through what's called Event Bus, this huge, just sort of like event streaming for every merchant that has Intelligems installed. Every order, update made, refunded, change, like every time an order is placed or updated, we get an event from Shopify across all of our merchants. Every single time someone views a page, every single time someone adds an item to the cart, removes an item from the cart, all of that data is flowing through en masse through Intelligems, and we're merging it all together because we can tie those front end page views to the back end order data. And so on the back end, our order data lines up perfectly with Shopify because it's literally one-to-one. So all of the order data lines up exactly. And then when we have a matching process that matches the orders to the visitors, that is something that Shopify also has. There's a lot of challenges with that. And what you'll see is that like, why does my GA4 data not match Shopify? It's because everyone has different ways that they like merge those things together. And so that's where it starts to get like a little bit more tricky and a little bit messier. But we're able to do all of that. And at least from an orders point of view and a revenue point of view, we're very, very careful to make sure that that ties one-to-one with Shopify, and then being able to layer on top of that all the add to carts, all the visitors, build your entire conversion funnel from like the moment that they land on your site through, order placed and then future lifetime value is all being tracked within seconds.
And like, it seems like forever ago now, but like custom events, like the ability to track kind of like whatever you want on top of kind of like what's just being sent to us through Shopify and like reconciling that. And I think like one thing too that you hit on there is like the near instant. This is, I love this because you can actually like check, but what is the word I'm looking for? Not bug check, but like you can check if something's working very quickly. Like basically as soon as like one event happens.
I mean, I was on the phone with a brand just this week and we were implementing custom events, and it wasn't built into their theme yet, but I was showing them how, and I was just using the JavaScript console to demonstrate, well, here's what firing a custom event would look like. And I showed them how I fired one off in the JavaScript console. I then switched tabs to Intelligems app, and that event already was showing up in what we call our events manager. It was like Atom test. And it was like last triggered 24 seconds ago. And I was like, that's what I just did. So I think that, I mean, we used to have a data pipeline that took about 1 to 2 hours. And so even still, our data would refresh within, like it would be accurate within 1 or 2 hours. And if you compare that to at the time Google Optimize, that was better. Google Optimize would show you as of yesterday, but not show you today's data. So they were like up to 24 hours. And so 1 to 2 hours felt like such a win. And what we built, and this has been live for almost exactly a year, but to be within less than 10 seconds of near real time, from the moment that event fires out of your browser to shows up in our dashboard in the data within 10 seconds, that was a bit of a feat of engineering. And I think that that's something that the main pain point that I think that solves for people is like, is this working? Is this working the right way. And it's really tough to debug things when like you try something and you have to wait 2 hours. It's like, oh, did this refresh already or not? And, so then like you try it again and it just took forever, and like debugging was very difficult. And so being able to see things come through in real time makes it way easier to debug and understand.
All right. I came in thinking we were talking about theme and template tests. And like, here we are, like we went way, way deeper on this. I think like TLDR here, we are for Shopify. And like you were saying at the beginning, we probably should put something on the homepage.
We should absolutely
we're
change the website.
we're only for Shopify. That's on
My
me.
hope is by the time
that.
this podcast hits YouTube, our website says for Shopify, built for Shopify.
Go to IntelliGems.io and you will see it on the homepage.
Okay, great. I'm gonna tell Alex is on the hook for this one now.